Welcome back to Investor Intel. I'm here with John McKim from Smart Employee Benefits. John, I love stocks that are undervalued, and I got to tell you, when I look at a technology stock trading at 20-25% of sales, it has my attention. Next thing I love to see is all kinds of insider buying. Your story's got both. Why is the market not getting it as far as valuation on Smart Employee Benefits?
Well, Smart Employee Benefits is 6.5 years old. In December 2015, I did an acquisition, acquired, as a result of that acquisition, we accumulated a fair bit of debt. And I think the market looked at that debt and perceived us as having a large balance sheet risk. Now, over the last 15, 18 months, we have solved that debt issue. We've done a $22.5 million consolidation financing with a major Canadian Schedule A bank. We've also raised $7.2 million of equity, of which insiders and existing shareholders were about 80% of that. And that has put our balance sheet in a much better place. The other thing is that our benefits division was losing money up until the last few months because there was huge investments in software and market development. Now both our technology and non-benefits and our benefits division are profitable and cash flow positive. So I think a combination of those things will get us back to the share prices that we were at in December 2015.
Well, I talked about insider buying, and in fact, the insiders, insiders and people close to the company look like they're doing the majority of the buying right now. Do you see that continuing?
When you're raising capital and the only ones that are believing in your company are insiders, and that's where you take most of your money from. And the insiders and existing shareholders in the last year has bought over 80% of the stock and over 80% of the financing. And of the $7.2 million of equity we've done, my resources were almost half of that. So I think going forward, insiders have acquired probably 20-25% of the company to increase their interest in the last year, and insiders I think will continue to be buyers. I know I'll continue to be a buyer as we go forth.
You mentioned funding, and it's my understanding you have funding out there in the market right now. Can you talk about the status of it?
We announced a week ago that we'll be closing a $2 million equity. Well, that equity transaction is oversubscribed, and so we'll announce the closing of that equity today.
Well, John, thank you so much for talking about the stock. I think the next time I have you back, we'll talk a little bit more about the technology so people can connect the dots and understand what Smart Employee Benefits actually does.
Thank you, Jeff. It's my pleasure.